What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Today is 3/11, March 11, 2026. This is episode 1085-86 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, rocking the mic right, live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. And over the next hour, we're going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories like it's a Gibson guitar. Just shred it, electric style, picking up what I'm putting down. Let's go, people. I hope you're ready for a wonderful show. It is Wednesday, which means it's Throwback Wednesday, Wayback Wednesday, as we call it here on the show. It's all about good times. Get comfortable. We got a great show for you. All right, everybody. Welcome to the party. Hope you are having a great day. We are going to be going over the top cyber news stories of the day. If you want to get updated on top cyber news so you have situational awareness as you're going into work or going into job interviews, but then want 20 plus years of industry experience to filter through those stories and give you insights, observations, make information security accessible, well, then there you go. That's what we do here at Simply Cyber, Daily Cyber Threat Brief every single day. If you're a long timer, you know this. But if you are a first timer, let me say what's up. Welcome to the party. I hope you got value from the show or get value from the show. At the end, you're going to got with value from the show. But if you are here for the first time, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. We will welcome you appropriately, whether it's your first time live, first time video, first time just finding the show in general. Welcome to the party, pal. Now, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. Very simple. Just say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. You are part of the show. How you doing, Z-Myth? I'm doing phenomenal, my man. I know you said, how are you all doing? I'll let everybody else answer for themselves. But for me, Z-Myth, I am happy, dude. Got a cup of coffee, a smile. I'm feeling good, right? From head to toe. Body's feeling all right. Kimberly can fix it's in chat. Hopefully Toasty Pops is here. Tom Lavin up in Buffalo. Good to see you guys. All right. For real, though, hey, all you got to do is say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. I would recommend you include the show title. It says today's date, March 11th. It says the episode number, the unique episode number, which, by the way, is episode 1086. And by the way, just if you're new here, we didn't start at episode 1000 and started counting. We started at episode 1. So, yeah, we're putting in the work over here at Simply Cyber. So, anyways, get your CPEs. They add up. It's half a CPE an episode because it's an hour-long show, but it's 30 minutes of, like, hard-hitting news. And I'm an instructor-led webinar format. So, just get you 30 minutes. You know, if you show up every day, it's 120 CPEs. 120 CPEs a year, which is insane, okay? Awesome, good stuff. So we got our CPEs, we got our first-timers, we got our value prop of what you're going to be getting here. Jesse, we got our cosmic cowboy, Jesse Johnson, in chat. Holy crap, this guy's getting up before the sun. Welcome to the party, Jesse. By the way, Jesse, I hope you caught the intro with the 311, like the just electric guitar shredding. You want to talk about a guy who can shred 6 strings? Jesse Johnson. Holy crap. All right, guys. Hey, the show is not possible without you, and it's not possible without the stream sponsors. So let me take a minute and say holla, 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 especially since we have a Simply Cyber Team SC community member today that we can support if you're feeling it. That's right. Anti-Siphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training institution by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. And today at noon Eastern time, none other than the James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Can I make this a little bigger? The James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, my friend and Simply Cyber community member, is going to be going deep He's going to be going hard into the paint on detecting malicious remote workers. This guy's got experience. This guy has done deepfakes. This guy's all up in AI's business. And, you know, as cool as it is to deepfake things, being able to detect, being able to defend, being able to educate your workforce around it, all very important. So come on down today at noon and attend this free workshop with James McQuiggan and hold on, I'm fake remote workers. There's the link. I'm going to be going. I hope you can attend too, and just show some support. I'm not telling you got to go there. I'm saying I'm going to be there because I want to support James, and I just love that he's doing this. Great opportunity. We talk about networking, personal branding, getting out there when you're in between jobs. James McQuiggan is literally demonstrating the playbook. I love it. Thank you, Anti-Siphon Training and James McQuiggan. All right, guys, I want to tell you about Flare, cyber threat intelligence platform. Guys, Flare cyber threat intelligence platform. They are continuously monitoring the dark web and criminal underground in order to gather information, not just telemetry, not high confidence. Oh my God, Mario Day. Flare isn't thinking like, oh, we have high confidence that there's a threat. They can literally say like, dude, the threat actors are talking about making a strike. Dude, we can see compromised credentials from your domain. Guy, we see Telegram chatter where people are handing off your creds. Legit, like, here is the clear text passwords. You can look for your own passwords in here. Okay? Very powerful platform. And you can use it to get intelligence on threat actor activity around your organization. This is super powerful. Right now, you can go to simplycyber.io/flare and get a 2-week trial, which I'm telling you, I said this every day. This is like literally 13 days longer than you need to be able to tell whether or not you're going to get value from this threat platform. Like, I've used it. I love it. And of course, I really do like the people at Flare. Shout out to them asking me if I wanted to meet up for dinner in San Francisco in a few weeks. That's very nice of you, Flare. All right, dude. 8+ years of dark web data. They keep it updated all the time. So like there's stuff in there from yesterday. I would suspect. I mean, put an asterisk next to that comment. I'm not involved in there, but it is pretty accurately up to date. Go to simplycyber.io/flare now and sign up. It does take a few days to verify that you're a human and a good person, like a security operations defender, not a cyber criminal who's pretending, because the value of the data in this platform is ridiculously valuable, and a threat actor would go ham on this thing. It would be like,
oh my, this is a threat actor starter kit.
Right? So they don't want that, obviously. All right, then of course, our third and final sponsor for the show today is ThreatLocker. Zero trust platform, big news making waves in the industry. Quick word from ThreatLocker, and then it's time to melt your face. And again, if you're a first timer, shout out with a hashtag first timer in chat. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. Hello, everybody. Do me a favor, everyone. Let's party. I need you all. It's time to get to work. Space tacos, GRC guardrail, Mara Levy haircut fish. Kimberly can fix it. Do me a favor. Marcus Kyler, I need you to sit back. And if you're on the elliptical, Marcus, don't sit back, okay? That would be ill-advised. But for everybody sitting right now, lean back. Was it Fat Joe that had that song Lean Back? Hold on. Was it? Hold on. We're just blowing out all the copyrights today. Yeah, it was Fat Joe, Terror Squad. I knew. See, don't try to question me on early 90s hip hop. All right, lean back. Lean back, okay? And then do me a favor. After you're leaning back, I need you to relax. And just close your eyes and let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over you in just an awesome wave. I will see you at the mid-roll.
Hero culture is still distressing.
Bro, I was so geeked up about getting the 311 song dialed up this morning that I forgot to fix the podcast. Nothing to see here. Everybody can continue to sit back and relax. I will be the one who's not relaxed. Hold on 1 second. Bruh. As you were.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday.
All right, we're going to issue a policy exception to Poner Joe. He can sit back and relax, right? Poner Joe, use that recline button, but he is driving. So let's not have him close his eyes unless you're going to be like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day where he lets the groundhog drive.
March 11th, 2026. I'm Rich Straffolino.
Oh,
NSA and cyber.
I'm sorry, Dream Logic and everybody international. 311. Today is March 11th, right? The day is 311. There is a rock and roll band from Omaha, Nebraska that was big in the 90s. I think they came out around 93, 94, called 311. They're still around, but they're terrible now. They did not age well like Red Hot Chili Peppers or Metallica, Rolling Stones. They came out with several amazing albums. I was a huge fan, okay? Like my gaming handle is Jerry Guy 311, okay? And after they released an album called Sound System, which was great, and then everything after that is absolute hot garbage. So if you're interested in learning about great music, I would cap it from 311 Music, which is their first album, technically studio album, to Sound System.
Command head confirmed. In a rare floor vote, the U.S. Senate voted 71-29 to confirm Army Lieutenant General Joshua Rudd as the head of U.S. Cyber Command and director of the National Security Agency. The post had been vacant for almost a year, with Lieutenant General William Hartman serving in an acting capacity. Rudd currently serves as the Deputy Chief of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command and previously has held jobs in Special Forces leadership. He has no prior experience in signals intelligence or cyber operations. Rudd will continue the dual-hat leadership of Cyber Command and the NSA, with the record sources saying President Trump told aides he settled on a clean 18-month extension for the leadership format. Senator Ron Wyden called for the floor vote as part of his opposition to Rudd's nomination, citing his lack of experience and vague answers about using the NSA surveillance tools for warrantless spying on U.S. citizens.
Okay. I don't know how you have vague answers to like surveillance on U.S. citizens. That seems concerning. But this story doesn't this doesn't make a difference to you and I, like for the most part, right? I mean, maybe you are working in some like forward operating base or something, or you are, tightly coupled with NSA, maybe. But I would say on balance, the greater Simply Cyber community membership, this story is like interesting, but does not modify anything. Now, what I do want to point out is Lieutenant General Joshua Rudd is taking over the command of NSA and Cyber Command. Now, he has no prior signals intelligence, but he did. It said in the story that like he was involved in commanding a special forces unit. Okay, listen, I'm not saying that you could put me in charge of a movie theater and I would crush it, or you could put me in charge of a financial services company or I'd crush it. But what I would say is, from my limited experience in business and watching some of my friends and family run businesses and stuff, what I can tell you is normally if you're really good at leadership, it doesn't matter if you're in charge of a oh my God, what do they call those things? Oh my God, there's like this rolling shaved ice truck that comes to my kid's school every other Friday. Oh my God. It doesn't matter if you're running an ice cream truck thing or a video game company. Leadership is putting the right people in place and enabling those people to be successful. So I'm not super sweaty about this guy not having cyber experience. Like, I don't need Lieutenant General Joshua Rudd to hop on a keyboard and hack through Napster to reroute and ping off a satellite, right? I'll leave that to the nerds, right? Like us. But the tech surveillance thing, I don't know. Here's all I would say about this. Number one, they voted 71-29, so that's cool. Number two, guy, we haven't had someone in the position for like a year. In case Kona Ice, thank you very much, Code Brew. South Carolina own Kona Ice. Yeah, Jim Wales is in here. Yeah, so Kona Ice. Final thing I'll say about this, guys, we are at war. Like, I don't like. People are mincing words. There's people in high positions who are like, we're not at war. They're at war. Like, we are straight up in a war right now. So, by the way, we have, we're running military operations in Ecuador also effective today. So my point is, when you are in a not a peacetime era, having somebody in charge of NSA and Cyber Command is pretty important to me. That's a capability that I would like full access to if I was a nation state and wanted to be able to utilize all of our resources to effectively, win whatever conflict it is that we are currently in. Whether I agree with it or not, I don't, it just, so I'm not surprised. Basically, I'm not surprised that this guy got hired. Okay. The good news is I haven't heard any type of like sycophant, rhetoric coming out of this guy. In fact, I haven't heard jack squat coming out of this guy. So, military man, obviously Timothy Ho was the prior guy who got fired because he believes in DEI. But this story doesn't affect any of us.
Russians targeting encrypted messaging app users. The Netherlands Defense Intelligence and Security Service and the General Intelligence and Security Service published details about a campaign by entities tied to Russian state actors targeting users of Signal and WhatsApp. This didn't crack either app's end-to-end encryption. Instead, Dutch intelligence saw Signal users targeted by people posing as the app's support team, warning specific users about data leaks and trying to get their PIN codes. These codes could be used to register a new device and intercept new messages. On WhatsApp, the attacks tried to trick people into using the linked device feature to gain access to all messages. All
right, so I can't speak to WhatsApp, but I can talk about Signal, right? So they're both messaging apps, okay? If for my money, quote unquote, Signal is the one to use. I use Signal. I recommend everybody in this chat use Signal. Signal is as secure as you can get. Now, because the technology stack is secure, social engineering is really the only attack sequence that can help an adversary get into your Signal. And because Signal allows you to connect multiple devices, right? I have Signal on all my computers and my phone. I get a new tablet or phone, I can link in my Signal. And one of the security features is that you don't get history of chat, right? Like you start getting the chat the second you join. Now, I was unaware that there is a history ability to, basically play back the history of the chat. Super valuable from an espionage perspective. Also super valuable from an integrity perspective, right? Because if I can trick Gary Sturgiadis, what's up, Gary? If I can trick Gary to let me connect my phone to his Signal, well, now I look like Gary in Signal, right? I don't look like Gary at all. Gary's big and burly and has a phenomenal beard. And I have I have more of your I have more of your Silicon Valley nerd beard. But anyways, on Signal, I could then look like Gary and say, hey, send 5,000 burritos to X, Y, and Z, or don't send the troops or whatever. They are not targeting me and Gary, though. They are targeting high-ranking military officials who have been directed to use messaging apps for secure communications. And I'm not going to bother to pull it up on stream, but trust me, there was a an order that came out last year because China was all up in the telecommunications back when Salt Typhoon was getting ham all over U.S. telecom equipment, that either CISA or the executive office came out and was like, you've got to use messaging apps for secure comms. We've seen multiple screenshots of like Pete Hegseth sending signal chat, like, again, for better or worse, like noting, what was that, Operation Midnight Hammer? Oh my God. You know what? I think that operation was called Midnight Hammer, and like his wife was on the group chat, which is kind of weird. But like, also as a side note, don't Google Midnight Hammer, because I don't think that operation's the first thing that comes up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyways, the Dutch is warning this. TLDR, Signal is a very secure messaging app. However, it is not completely secure in the utility of it. And this is actually something that two things I like to give you guys. Again, I like to go beyond the headlines, beyond the value, and give you like the lessons learned that you're not going to get in the classroom. Number one, you can use Signal. You can use it. It's secure. I love Signal. I'm all about some Signal. But just know, in the world of GRC, there are technical risks, procedural risks, and human risks, administrative operational risks, right? So the Signal is secure on the tech stack side, but it can be compromised via social engineering and human fault. So don't think that this thing's bulletproof. You don't get to just go YOLO. You do have to practice good. So what I'm trying to tell you is educate your executives. If they are using Signal, if they are doing secure communications, don't ask them to tell you why. Like, what kind of naughty stuff are you sending? What kind of salacious things are you doing? Don't get into the bits and bolts. Don't go above layer 4. This is a really nerdy joke for the nerds in chat. Don't go above layer 4. Okay, you don't need to know what's the data. You just need to tell them, hey, the Signal engineer, no one's going to contact you and say they're troubleshooting your Signal. Period. Full stop. That's the message. That's it. No one's going to contact you and say they're from help desk or IT support for Signal. Okay? All right. Also, if you'd like to weigh in, if you are a 3/11 fan, it is March 11th here in the United States. Well, I guess it's March 11th everywhere. Maybe not Australia. If you want to weigh in on your favorite 3/11 album, if you have one, please do. Casually Joseph is saying 311 is his favorite, I think, and Transistor. I'll reveal mine at the mid-roll.
AI rolls out vulnerability scanner. It was big news when Throwback rolled out vulnerability scanning in Claude Code, and so it's a big deal when OpenAI did the same now with Codex. Codex Security was previously known as Aardvark, in private beta testing since last year, and now available as a research preview to ChatGPT Pro, Enterprise, Business, and EDU customers. In testing, OpenAI said it found over 10,000 high-severity issues with Codex Security, including in widely used projects like Chromium, OpenSSL, PHP, and GNU TLS. Anthropic's announcement had stock market implications. We'll see if that becomes part of the story with Codex Security. All
right. Dude, you ever tried to hold back like you go to the beach and the waves are crashing. You ever try to hold back a wave and you just get bamboozled? That's what OpenAI is doing. There have been multiple attempts in the past to, basically publicly disclose vulnerabilities of software. Obviously, CVEs and bug bounties are one way that happens. But back in the day, Mudge from the Loft crew, Peter Zapko and his wife, Sarah, they actually tried to put out a lab called CITL. It was like supposed to be an independent testing lab to test software and give basically the nutrition facts of what was in that software and how vulnerable it was. It ended up shutting down. And I think it was because they were being, I'm speculating here, but I think it was because the company's lawyers got lawyered up and was like, oh, you can't put this stuff out. So OpenAI is just straight up steamrolling with a vulnerability scanner that's finding hundreds of critical vulnerabilities in software in the last month. So the sheer volume of what they're finding is amazing. So this does have implications. Okay, so there's two things here. Number one, this is awesome. This is awesome for us as people who are tasked with protecting organizations like you and I are, to have software that's just, written by humans and has faults in it, and then there's 0 days, and you've got exposure windows, and you've got to do patch Tuesday. Yesterday was patch Tuesday, right? You gotta patch it. So to have OpenAI doing this is wonderful. Now, two things to point out here. Number one, just because they're finding hundreds of critical vulns does not mean that they are patching hundreds of critical vulns. That is the responsibility of the software developers who are responsible for the software that the vulnerabilities are being discovered in, which means, think about it for a second, okay? Like, think about it like a timeline. Vulnerabilities are discovered, software engineers verify and then identify how to fix it. Then they push out patches, then patches are applied. Every single step takes time. Just because OpenAI can point at any piece of software, and let's just let's play fantasy for a minute, right? Let's do role playing for a minute. Not role playing. I guess that doesn't make any sense. Like fantasy time, whatever. I don't know. I was trying to be funny about it, but I don't think I'm saying it right. You can just see how pedestrian and conformist I am with my fantasy. So in a perfect world, OpenAI can look at any software and find every vulnerability in it. Okay. The extreme example, that's not happening, but just pretend. Every vulnerability discovered. Okay. Now, how much time does it take for them to communicate to the software developers and the software developers to confirm it, right? Just because OpenAI says it's a vulnerability doesn't mean that it's confirmed. This happens all the time in bug bounty. Once it's confirmed, then they have to fix it, right? Fix the code. And it's not as simple as like, oh, let me just change it from a lowercase I to a capital I. There we go. Everything's set up. Sometimes you got to rewrite functions. Sometimes you got to rewrite underlying modules, right? Okay, so let's say that takes weeks. Ideally, let's say it takes 1 week, which is insane, right? So every vulnerability, then 1 week to fix it, okay, and push patches, and then 1 week to patch the environment, right? Which is hyper unrealistic, right? We're talking even in the best of scenarios, 2 to 3 weeks, which is not what's going to happen. It's 2026. We're talking about, oh, you got to patch it like Windows XP. Oh, you got to patch it like, friggin' Eternal Blue, which blew up with WannaCry from the Vault 7 Shadow Brokers leak back in 2017. The Eternal Blue dropped in February. Microsoft fixed it immediately, pushed patches all over the place. It was like literally a blinking red button that said, if you don't patch this, you are absolutely going to get pwned. And even weeks later, North Korea went ham across the world, and we're just pwning machines left, right, and center. So even in a perfect world, none of this happens. So this is a great step one, but you've got to do steps 2, 3, and 4. We'll see how it goes. I love this. I do want to point out as a side note, I know there's no patches for XP and Windows 7 and stuff like that. I get that. As a side note, really quickly, this is a hot take. Okay, so for those who are squad members, please, little tinfoil hat. Doink, 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 doink. Okay. This could low-key destroy the bug bounty market. Like HackerOne, BugCrowd, these ones, right? If this tool can scan code repositories and find hundreds of crits quickly, you know what I mean? Like either I don't know. It's like you're going to need like Jason Haddocks of the world to find the one that AI didn't find. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think that this is going to, I don't know, man. Not eliminate everything, right? But if you hire someone, if you hire a group of people, right? This is like, hey, group of people, if you see a piece of trash on the ground, pick it up. And for every piece of trash you pick up and throw in the bin, you'll get $1, right? So you kind of crowdsource it. People are like, I could use a couple bucks. They go pick up some trash. I could use a couple bucks. There's people who are like, this is my job. And they bought their own reflective vest and they like throwing trash away everywhere. Well, if you make a machine that's basically the two guys from Heavy Metal, the movie, the two aliens who were big into going skiing, right? And they can suck up all of the trash, right? That was an incredibly obscure, super narrow reference I just made, analogy. So let me back up. For those who know, you're probably laughing, but imagine if you just created a super vacuum that you could walk down the street and it would just pull in all of the trash like a cartoon. Now, most of that's done. But hey, there's a piece of trash wedged in a sewer grate. The vacuum isn't going to pull that in. So then you would need some advanced person like Jason Hacks to go grab it. So there is potential for this to really disrupt the bug bounty market.
Of persistent cyber espionage. According to a new security assessment from the Finnish Security and Intelligence Service, the country's tech sector, government, and research institutions face sustained operations from Russian and Chinese intelligence services. The assessment painted a bleak picture, stating that the country faces continual attempts at cyber espionage with no prospect of such operations subsiding, even in the long term. These attacks are attempting to steal sensitive research and intellectual property, supplement traditional espionage efforts that were scuttled after Finland expelled Russian diplomats, and spreading misinformation as part of larger influence operations. And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, DropZone AI.
All right. CISA shortens patch window. Hey, by the way, I forgot to say this in the intro. Hold on. I didn't say this in the intro. I don't research or prep for the show. I have no idea what stories are coming.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I literally am finding out as you are finding out, and then I'm just giving you my CISO hot take. I'm very emotionally engaged, hyper passionate for cyber thoughts on this one. Okay, CISA is the Information Security Agency for the United States, right? Or what is it? Infrastructure and Security Agency. Anyways, the whole point is they provide threat intelligence to the United States and also kind of, give insights into vulnerabilities that need to be patched and how bad is it and all these things. Anyways, you could see here they have intelligence, right? So CISA has intel that these three vulnerabilities are now being actively exploited in the wild. Going back to that example I just gave you of OpenAI finding vulns, software engineers fixing, then patches, all during that window, at some point when the vulnerabilities are discovered, it becomes a race. The race is the good guys are, developers are fixing it, and then good guys are patching it, or good people are patching it. At the same time, there's a fork where the threat actors have the vulnerabilities, and they are able to try to weaponize that vulnerability, develop an exploit, shoot the exploit, and then compromise assets. Go look at the cyber kill chain. You can see where it forks off. Look, Google Lockheed Martin cyber kill chain, okay? So these three vulnerabilities are being actively exploited, which means if you have these vulnerabilities in your environment because you haven't patched it,
you gotta patch it.
Then you are going to be having a bad day. Critical vuln in SolarWinds web help desk. This has literally been around for a minute. You can see here just by the CVE title 2025. That means this is from 2025. Ew, so gross. Oh my God, Becky, look at her CVE. It is so big. Drink. That was a Sir Mix-a-Lot reference. I stopped growing culturally in 1998. So that's why everything is 90s references all the time. What is going on with this thing? Is there a date on this guy? Why does this say date added March 9th? Bruh. All right, so this was published September 2025. Let me just do some quick math here. Yes, judges, I'm getting nods from off camera here. Yes, we're confirming that was 6 months ago, half a year. My man, if you're running SolarWinds help desk and you haven't patched it in 6 months, Linda in HR, if if you have this bug in your environment, okay, and I'm being playful here, if you have this bug in your environment, you haven't fixed it in 6 months, I'd like to schedule a 15-minute meeting between me, you, and HR. Just a real quick one. You don't have to bring your computer or anything like that. We'll take care of that for you. You can find it in the cardboard box that'll have your little desk plant in the lobby there. Dude, you've got to patch these things. This isn't a joke. These things are being actively exploited. Help desk has access to all sorts of things, including oftentimes remote management. There's definitely details in there around, passwords and, history and stuff like that. Even the basic benign type information. Okay. You could see here, asset tracking is definitely used by the government, which is why CISA is involved. Let's see what the vulnerabilities actually are, though. CISA gave the agencies 4 days to patch, and now they're updating it to 3 days. Here's my thing, my guy, really quickly. Hold on 1 second. When you get an email saying that you have 3 days to patch something, that's like all hands on deck. Okay, you really should prioritize this. As always, let me just tell you a couple things. Number one, you should patch this. Number two, an enterprise application like this, like Avanti or SolarWinds, you definitely know you have it or don't have it. There's no way in hell that you are running SolarWinds as shadow IT. That's not going to happen. This is a wide enterprise grade solution, which means it is difficult to patch because when you take enterprise applications down for maintenance, they affect, wait for it, the entire enterprise oftentimes. You got to have excuse me, you got to have maintenance windows. The final thing I'll say about this is, number one, don't screw around. If you have this, patch it. Period. Full stop. Patch it. Number two, if you don't already have this, you should seriously consider working with leadership to define an emergency maintenance process. Something like this, dude, like the WannaCry in the SMB v1. Granted, you had weeks and weeks to patch, but I'm just saying, if CISA comes down or whoever comes down and says you have 3 days to patch this and it's Monday and maintenance windows are every Saturday, it's not going to cut it, Jack. You've got to have an emergency maintenance process, period. And just rolling the dice and you're like, oh, we'll take our chances. Suck an egg, dude. I'm not saying we make emergency maintenance windows the new norm, but you should have an emergency maintenance process. You should have talked through it. You should know who the right people are to put on the email to let everyone know emergency maintenance. You should have the CIO get your back and be like, yes, we are doing this. It's moving forward, right? Period. All right. Dude, you put on the Run GRC shirt and everything, and all of a sudden everything GRC becomes super important. Awareness training, maintenance windows, educating staff, talking about vulnerability management. Oh my God. Let it rain. Let it rain. And on 3/11 day.
Remember yesterday's 3 a.m. threat intel? Here is how it plays out with DropZone AI. The threat intelligence drops. DropZone picks it up, turns it into a threat hunt, and runs it across your SIM, EDR, and cloud data while your team sleeps. By morning, your analysts have answers, not a backlog. That is the AI Threat Hunter, the newest agent on the team, debuting at RSAC, booth 455, South Expo Hall. To learn more, head on over to dropzone.ai.
All right. Maybe we do a 311 song for the mid-roll. You know what I mean? Let's see what we can pull up from the crates here. Yeah, I said crates. All right, here we go. It's hard for me to listen to 311 now and not get angry, which I know is hilarious. All right, we'll do it later. We'll do it another time. Actually, they did cover. They covered a Cure song that was pretty good. All right, guys. Hey, every single day of the week has a special segment. Oh, wait, really quick. I want to say shout out and thank you to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. Straight killing it like a bunch of bosses. Thank you. And thank you, all of you. Guys, shout out to the mods. We have if you're a squad member, we actually have a mod love emote. The mods are very active in chat. And I try to recognize them and give them flowers with regularity. But shout out to the mods. Thank you very much, guys. So every single day of the week has a special segment. I got to make a card for this. Kimberly, can we make a card for Wayback Wednesday? Every day of the week has a special segment. And on Wednesdays, I like to throw it back in the Wayback machine and talk about old tech that was like so hot at the time. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to present you with what was so hot. And for those who are olds in chat, this is going to hit, okay? I give you the pager, and not just any pager, the clear neon pager. Oh yeah, this thing was so hot. I didn't even have any friends, but I had a pager. Okay, I mean, I had friends, but they were all with me at the same time. Hey, Larry, thanks for the squad membership, 20 months, looking good. So if you had a pager, it was sick, right? You could get paged like 143, which means I love you. You could get paged 911, which means call right away, right? Pagers were sick. I will say pagers are still used in healthcare. Physicians run around with them so they can get communicated with. But back in the day, you would get paged, and then you'd have to go to a payphone. So shout out to pagers. You know, if you had one, how cool it was. Some people had multiple pagers. I want to take you into the way back machine. Check this one out. Look at this. This is hilarious. Pager, black, speaker. My uncle owned his own business, and he actually owned a pager company, and he owned a restaurant, and a couple other things, okay? I want to share this pager with you. This is ridiculous. I hadn't thought about this in a minute. You guys see this pager? Listen. This pager didn't have a screen. It literally had a speaker. So what you would do is you would call the phone number and leave a message at the beep like, hey, Jesse, it's Jerry. Give me a call. Or, hey, Casually Joseph, your commander deck's terrible. Ha, 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 ha. Click. Okay. Then it would relay it to the thing. And then the pager itself would go beep. And then it would just play the audio file. Like just, I remember my uncle being like in the restaurant and would just blast it into the restaurant. Like no matter where you were, everybody had to hear the page. Insane technology, and not in a good way. But anyways, yeah, that's the pager situation. All right. Quick word. Let's do the laws. And if you're enjoying the show, I saw Brown Coyote enjoyed the show. Love it, love it, love it. Dude, mod chat's out of control right now. All right, let the laws wash over you guys. Let's go. If anyone sees Alpha Sierra, please let her know that we've been playing the song again. I feel like she left because we stopped playing. I'm joking. She's definitely got some responsibilities that's keeping her from it. But hold on one second. Oh, man. I love this song. I love the new Midnight album. I'm like so in love with it. All right, hold on. Let's keep going.
Meta acquires Moltbook. You'll be forgiven if you've already forgotten about the AI flavor of the week that was Moltbook. This was a Reddit clone designed for use by AI agents created by Matt Schlicht and Ben Parr. Well, Meta didn't forget them, acquiring the platform and the team behind it in an undisclosed deal. Schlicht and Parr will roll into Meta's Superintelligence Labs unit on March 16th, with Moltbook itself shutting down around the same time. Moltbook was notable in that it left its production database completely exposed at launch, revealing that a large number of accounts were created by just a few users, and that it had no system for verifying if users were actually bots. This comes a month after OpenClaw creator Peter Steinberger was hired by OpenAI.
All right. I was trying to find, like, the number is not disclosed, but I was trying to see if anybody had an estimate or guess on what it was. So Moltbook is basically Reddit for AI to AI users. And it was this isn't a cyber story, like, at all. Like, this is like,
shall we play a game?
I like live, breathe, love, work, sniff, play, bathe in cyber. Okay. I love cybersecurity. Okay. So this is not cybersecurity at all. At all. Zero. Yeah. I can't even make a cyber point. I can't find some tangential element. Actually, I can. Okay. But what I want to point out is Moltbook was this Facebook for AI to AI. And basically it was like, like, look at this. They're creating their own religions and talking about their own talk. Dude, it came out like there was like just a few people who created all the agents. There were actually humans in there. Humans are supposed to have read-only access, but humans were getting write access and kind of poisoning the well. So don't come at me with Moltbook. What I do want to point out is two things. One, for cybersecurity professionals, if you are likely or potentially going to be involved with mergers and acquisitions, i.e., in American Psycho, people, murders and executions, yes, LOL. If you work in healthcare, there's a good chance you might be involved with a merger or acquisition. If you work in a tech startup, good chance you might be in merger and acquisition. You should be mindful that there is a lot to do with cyber when you do mergers and acquisitions across, like, the human layer, the data layer. Does data play together? Where is redundant data? The application layer. Do we have redundant applications? The legal layer. What contracts do we have with whom? The network layer. Who has access to the VPNs? What remote users? What remote tools? Like the maintenance window. Like, there's a million things. IT. Where are these sites? Physical security. It's like bananas when you get into mergers and acquisitions. So just shout out to all that. That is my tangential piece of cyber to give you for this story. The other thing I want to tell you, and shout out to Phil Stafford. Again, I know, like, I mean this with all the love and respect in my heart. Like, Phil Stafford and I are old. Like, Phil was definitely there. I was definitely there. And I know some other olds. DJ Bisek definitely was there. He knows where the bodies are. Jenny Housley. Listen, just to be inclusive. In 2001, 2002, dude, there were companies getting acquired. This was like the .com boom. There were companies getting acquired that, like, didn't even exist. Like, think about that for a second. Me, DJ Bisek, Casually Joseph, Justin Gold, Jesse Johnson, and the rest of the mod team, Kimberly, Jenny, everyone, we'd get together and we'd be like, we should create a tool that does this, right? We should create a tool that will, like, find water, in a stone, okay? And we would write up a business plan, put it on paper that we all work there, never develop a single piece of code, and then we would get acquired. It was called vaporware. It was like an entire thing. This AI thing right now is so stupid that, like, I'm seeing it again. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but, like, people are so thirsty for AI and AI everything that every business is friggin' ham-fisting AI into all the things and looking to get acquired. And people with infinite money cheat codes like Meta, Google, Microsoft, they're like, yes, like, let's buy all the things. Like, let's hoard these things, and then we'll figure out later if we got some good ones or not. This is the equivalent of buying, like, bulk Magic the Gathering cards from a storage container and just like, I'm just gonna take this and we'll figure it out later. That's what's going on right now. I mean, shout out to Moltbook and shout out to the other guy who created OpenClaw. These guys are getting paid out. So, like, I'm not going to hate on it.
Straight cash, homie.
But it's just ridiculous. What are we doing here?
Botnet targeting ASUS routers. Researchers at Black Lotus Labs detailed the newly discovered Cadnap botnet, active since August 2025. This currently has about 14,000 enrolled devices, communicating through a customized version of the CADM-LIA distributed hash table protocol to conceal IP addresses. About half the botnet is made up of ASUS routers, with 60% of all infected devices in the US. Cadnap spreads through a malicious script that establishes persistence on routers and edge devices as a cron job that runs every 55 minutes. The researchers believe Cadnap is tied to the Doppelganger proxy service.
All right. First of all, love the chat around pagers. People really enjoying that. That's great. Cadnap, Botnet, hijacks ASIS routers. Guys, if you're running routers are devices that connect networks to networks. Many of you have a router in your home, right? You might have ASIS routers in your corporate network, right? If you're like a small mid-sized business trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents, and you couldn't afford like Cisco or Juniper or Aruba or whatever, these things are getting popped. Shout out to Black Lotus Labs. You had my attention. Magic the Gathering. The most OG iconic card in all of Magic is the Black Lotus. So, go on as you were, security researchers. Basically, they discovered this ASIS router is infected with a payload called Cadnap, and it downloads malicious scripts from this IP address. So obviously, not obviously, but for those who are in chat, I would recommend dropping this IP address in your SIM. Just see if anyone in your environment's pulled it down. It is running an ELF binary, which is basically a Linux executable because the ASIS routers are running on a Linux build. Okay. Then it starts doing some initialization, uses NTP to figure out where it is. Hold on, I'm now looking at it. What's the point of it? Here's the thing, like, okay, you can own my router, but like what is happening? Are you just using it in denial of service attacks, or are you using it as a foothold? Are you sometimes a threat actor will take over take over my home router with the intent of attacking a business, but then when the business does the forensics and they hunt down where it came from, it comes from my house, right? And that's bad, right? Let's see. There's a lot of hard-coded stuff in this. There's a lot of hard-coded stuff in this malware. Let's see. Yeah. So it looks like this is infrastructure that is set up as business-to-business sales for criminal activity. And it's using, again, I don't research or prep for these shows. It's using the service for the way I just said. People are routing through you like this is a Mission Impossible movie. So instead of me attacking a target from my home computer or going through a VPN, I can compromise, a Kona ice truck and then attack through the Kona ice truck as a proxy and funnel my malicious traffic through it. And that way it looks legit, right? Resident IP, real home IP addresses from different countries. So you can bypass locks and restrictions. It's kind of like a VPN service, except it's even more criminal. Not more criminal, like VPNs aren't criminal, but like nobody can query. Law enforcement can't call my neighbor and be like, hey, we need to pull your records because someone is routing through you. They can do that with VPN providers, therefore giving anonymity, right? So be mindful of this. I would say if you're running ASIS routers, you might want to take a look at this. My only question is, how is it initially infected? Is it initially infected through crappy credentials? It doesn't say how it works in here. They do talk about it's used all leading initially to Cadnap victims. Yeah, so denial of service attacks, cred stuffing, brute force attacks, which when you do the forensics shows, these other victims who are being basically proxied. It doesn't say in here how they're finding it. So unfortunately, I don't know if it's like a 0 day on the ASIS router that's being exploited or if it is just crappy credentials. Standard best practice, guys, do not run default creds on any network, on any equipment, frankly, but any networking equipment ever. All right, everybody be cool. Zach Hill's here. Okay. Zach, the Wayback Wednesday was pagers. Did you have one? I bet you did.
Microsoft rolls out passkey support for Entra. Microsoft says it will allow users to create device-bound passkeys stored in the Windows Hello container and authenticate using Windows Hello. Each Entra account will register a passkey per device with support for multiple accounts per machine. These keys will be device-bound and not synced. Passkey support will go into a opt-in global public preview in mid-March and run through the end of April. After that, it will roll out to government cloud environments starting in mid-April through mid-May. CISA shortens patch time.
Okay, what? Hold on. I apologize. I was like daydreaming about mergers and acquisitions fireside chat and how we could bring that to the community. Great idea, DJ BSEC. Also, you buffer overflowed my brain. All right, phishing resistant Windows sign-ins via Entra passkeys. Yes. Yeah. You know, this is what, listen. Like, this is when I see phishing resistant Windows passkeys. This is yes. Let's take passwords off the table. Okay. I love it. If you want to know what a passkey is, my good friend Bruisin' Hacks and I made a video for that. Simply Cyber, Bruisin' Hacks. Let's see if it comes up, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I put in like the explicit title, Simply Cyber, Bruisin' Hacks, and there we are. Look at this. Slightly below the fold, Ryan. Anyways, if you want to know why you should ditch a password, check it. Oh, I filmed this in Massachusetts. Check this out. Look at this. It launched quickly and then fell off. Anyways, if you want to know what a passkey is and why it's awesome, check this out. So Windows has been super pro security for a minute, and they've been working on passwordless authentication for years. Okay, so this is not new. Passkeys are awesome. Okay, a threat actor can't phish you and have you give up your passkey. You don't go to a lookalike website and put in your passkey. It just doesn't work that way. So, you know, obviously, not olds, but like people who are less technical have been acclimated to using passwords. So when you start talking about passwordless authentication, like their eyes roll back in their head. But anyways, yeah, personal devices, shared devices, passkey, everything. If you get a chance to do a passkey, take advantage of it. Okay. Microsoft Entra passkeys on Windows is coming, and it's probably, knowing Microsoft, it will likely be available but not required, and then they will make it the default option, and then they'll just get rid of passwords. Maybe. I mean, that could be like years down the road, but each Entra account will register its own passkey per device. That's another thing about passkeys. They're device dependent. Multiple accounts can coexist on a single machine. However, passkeys are device bound and cannot be synced across devices. This is another part of why passkeys are more secure. If a threat actor gets, like somehow gets your passkey, it's tied to the device itself. So they'd have to steal your computer also, or your phone or your tablet or whatever. It is slightly painful because you'll have to register every device if you're an end user. Oh, that sounds inconvenient. Yeah, it is. Guess what? Suck it up, Buttercup. You want access to this environment? Get your passkey. All right. For public preview, if you want to try to roll this out at your org, IT admins, you have to enable the passkeys, which is FIDO2, which is basically just the standard for secure authentication. In the Entra's authentication methods policies, then create a passkey profile with the required Windows Hello AA GUID and assign it to the appropriate group. Okay, so you can do this. Okay. This block may not apply only once the user exceeds 50 total creds across passkey. All right. Here we go. May 2025, all new Microsoft accounts will be passwordless by default to secure them. So this has already been in place. Like I told you guys, this has been the case for years with Microsoft. They're just slow playing it, okay? Way to go, Microsoft. I love it.
For critical bugs. Generally, when CISA adds a vulnerability to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, federal civilian agencies have 3 weeks to patch. However, the latest round of additions have been given tighter deadlines.
My guy.
On Monday.
Listen, hold on. We're at 9 o'clock anyways. it's not uncommon for CISO series to put the same story 2 days in a row because they have different people aggregating. This might be the first time. I think this is the same story twice in one day. Okay, hold on. Did we miss that? Did we miss this? Why was I talking about? Huh. Did I black out or something? I'm looking at the stories for today. I'm looking at the stories today. I swear to God, we covered this story already. But it doesn't show, like, how did... I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I just entered a time vortex or, like, you know, a black cat walked by and then it glitched and walked by again. I don't know if Agent Smith's about to bust through the wall like the Kool-Aid man over here, but I swear to God, we already did this story. So I'm going to skip it. You know what? Judges, yes, I'm getting nods from the judges. I don't know what happened. Whatever. That was a Matrix reference, by the way. All right, guys. Hey, holla, 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 holla. I want to say shout out to all of you. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. Thanks for being here. If you were a first timer, thank you so very much. If you were listening to us while you were driving, working out, getting set up for the morning, taking the kids to the bus stop, or just, you know, grinding at the desk, at your work desk, I genuinely appreciate that you choose to make Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief part of your routine. It does not go unnoticed. It's very difficult for me to individually thank every one of you, but I'm telling you, thank you. I know, I just know that, you know, it's special to me. I was thinking about it this morning. To be part of a morning routine is a very, it's very privileged. And I just want you to know I don't take it for granted. Thank you all so very much. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to be flipping the script like an absolute mother trucker and doing some jaw jacking. I'm going to answer your questions. First time live, Gold XX Barrage 2900. Welcome to the party. Farget and One was on the treadmill. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to do some jaw jacking and answer all your questions. So if you got questions, put them in chat with the queue. Let's go. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your... What the hell? Hold on one second. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw jacking. As you were. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jaw Jacking. I am your host, Jerry Guy, 2 thumbs, all smiles. This is a fun show, but it's designed to be helpful. I am all about mentoring at scale. I love educating. I love talking about cyber. I love helping people. And this show is 30 minutes of doing all of that, rounded up into one. All right, we got our first question coming in. I also want those in chat to know I ordered several magic cards to start building out my new Pauper Commander deck because I was getting hate about my Pauper Commander deck, so now I'll have another one. That way, Zach Hill, I can't have the best Pauper Commander deck because I'll have 2, so one of them by default can't be the best. First question coming in, Mariah Green says, would you recommend someone to get an OCEG cert when getting into GRC? This question was asked yesterday. Eric Taylor dropped it in chat. I do want to say thank you, Mariah. Now, 2 things. One, I'm not wicked familiar with OCEG. However, I want to pull something up for you guys on chat, on stream. This is it right here. I don't know anything about this organization. When I review this page, it looks pretty good. The marketing copy looks good. You know, they have testimonials recognized as the best, right? CIO magazine, 1 fee, all certs. So it seems legit, okay? Now, here's what I would say. and this isn't like a disrespect thing or anything, but like I've never heard of OCEG before. So maybe I just live in a bubble, right? And I don't know anything about anything, but I've never heard of it, which means I don't know how much market value it has. Okay. So what I would recommend you do, Mariah Green, and I would recommend this to everybody. This strategy works for any certification, any discipline, anywhere, even outside of cyber, frankly. Take the cert, right? OCEG, the GRC one. They have GRCP for professional, GRCA for auditor, a couple other ones. Those are the two GRC ones. Here's what I'd recommend you do. Look through 50 GRC job postings, which I know is a lot. Maybe AI can help you, right? Look through 5 GRC job postings. Look to see if they're asking for this certification. If no one's asking for it, that means that it doesn't have market value, okay? It doesn't mean it's not a great cert. It could be the best cert ever. But what is it? Like, if you invest your time and money and energy into getting this certification, why are you doing it? You're likely doing it to make you a more desirable candidate. You're likely doing it so you can get a job, right? Like I would assume that your employer is not going to give you a pay bump if you get this cert, right? So then it's for market value, just like any cert, okay? Now check it out. If there is I'm going to make an analogy kind of similar to what I do. Like if there was a cert, like say the ISACA CISA, which it's a GRC cert and has lots of market value, right? That has ROI. Imagine, if you will, you go to a car dealership and there's 2 identical vehicles on the lot. They're both the color you like. They're both exactly what you like. What's the difference? And you look at one and it says it gets 400 miles to the gallon. You're like, Jesus, that's awesome. I know exactly what that means. That means I don't have to go to the pump as often. Gas prices are about to skyrocket. This car is awesome. I can see the value in the 400 miles to the gallon. Now imagine you look at the other car and its one key differentiator is that it has it uses metric bolts instead of US standard imperial unit bolts on the lug nuts, right? Okay, cool. The hell does that do for me? Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not saying that the lug nuts in the metric system is a bad idea. I'm just saying it doesn't have any value to the buyer, to the employer, to the market, frankly. Okay, so that's my thoughts about that. And you can apply that standard to any cert, any industry, anything. What is the market asking for? Now, sometimes a company like OCEG, it's their responsibility to get into market and establish awareness and value. I'll give you one final example, then I'm going to move on to the next question. Just take any related non-objective information and just let's not talk about it, okay? TCM, okay? TCM, the cyber mentor before years ago, okay? He released his own, or they released their own certification, the PNPT, right? No one ever heard of PNPT. Like, Heath just made it up, okay? And it was a great one because it was very practical, okay? Now, I would say the same thing. No one's asking for PNPT, so what's the value? They then went to market and got it. And then companies like McDonald's, yes, the Big Macs and the Happy Meals, they were asking for practitioners with PNPT because Cyber Mentor made the effort to market that this cert is good and why it's good and all that stuff. So honestly, it's up to OCEG to get into market and make those certs valuable. All right, thank you. Wait. All right, let's keep going. What kind of joint ointment do you recommend for arthritis? Which brand of walker do you use? Tennis balls or no tennis balls? You got to do the tennis balls, Phil. I mean, I personally would go with like orange ones or something just to kind of be unique and stand out. As far as joint ointment goes, I got to tell you, there's no ointment. I love modern medicine. These people who are like, I just don't get why you wouldn't be all in on modern medicine. My joint ointment is 3 Advil for lunch. How can someone use a CCISC2 cert to get into GRC? No problem. Yeah. So, Mariah. Basically, this cert just gives you a foundational understanding. If you want to get into GRC, this cert doesn't necessarily help you with that. Yeah. What this does is this gives you a foundational baseline. If you want to get into GRC, start leaning into frameworks, right? Like NIST CSF, learn that. If it's too complicated, learn the CIS 18. That's NIST CSF, cybersecurity framework. And if that's too complicated, get into CIS 18, Center for Information Systems, or Center for Information Security, just CIS 18, okay? Get used to those. Learn to do some awareness training. Understand how risk and risk calculations go. Learn about MITRE ATT&CK framework. Learn about NIST 837 special publication, 800-800-37. You've got to get those things. The ISC2CC, that is, listen, like, if you're going to build a house, at least in the South, you got to put a concrete slab down first, and then you build the house. The concrete slab doesn't give you a homestead. The concrete slab doesn't give you a place to stay and get out of the rain. The concrete slab gives you the foundation to then build on top of. That's what it is. ISC2CC is like the foundation, and then all the things I just told you is the infrastructure and the structure itself that you get into to get into GRC. Michael Fink, when I generally agree with you. I generally agree your hot takes. Why the hate for the Voyager album? I thought it was a good callback to sort of I don't know. Maybe Voyager. I haven't heard the Voyager album. Listen, I tried with 311. I tried. I gave them like 2 albums. They're just so bad. Here, I will tell you what. I will give it a chance. Okay. What I will tell you is, I'm looking it up right now, okay? Really quickly. Where's the albums in order, bro? Okay. Sound System was 1999. Very good, okay? After that, From Chaos, meh. Then Don't Tread on Me was an absolute train wreck. That is, oh my God. Hold on. This song? If this song was playing in an elevator, I would get off on whatever floor was there and walk the rest of the way. That's what I got to say about that. I'll check out Voyager. That came out in 2019. Listen, but when this album came out, I was done. It was the last album I ever bought, and I threw it away. And then Uplifter came out. I listened to it on streaming, and I was like, no, I'm officially done with 311. So Voyager came out long after I divorced 311. I'll give it a shot, dude. But I don't know, man. I feel like they're just cashing checks at this point. All right, let me keep going. I do have a certain soft spot, obviously, for 311. So, okay, let's keep going. This is Jaw Jacking. It is a 30-minute AMA. It goes till 9:30. We're about halfway through. Shout out to the 305 people who are still in chat. If you are, hey, listen, just as a quick aside, if you're getting value from the conversation, just let me know. If you have constructive feedback for me, I'm always trying to be of service, okay? And I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, but that doesn't mean this is my show and it's my way or the highway. If you have any constructive feedback, hey, Jerry, how about shorter answers so we can get more questions answered? Hey, Jerry, maybe you could show more screen shares when you're talking about something. Let me know. And if you're just like, hey, thumbs up, everything's cool, let it fly, then that's fine. I'm talking specifically about jaw jacking, not daily cyber threat brief. I do want to make it as valuable as possible for everybody. B-Boy says, what would you recommend for a CISO who wants to educate new hires? B-Boy, new hires in the cyber department or new hires like general workforce with best practices? I'll try to answer both. if you're going to educate cybersecurity professionals, right? Like, people coming into your environment, I would definitely educate them around what is your general vibe and approach to cybersecurity, and whatever the framework is and where you currently are in that framework, right? So say you're NIST CSF and you're like a 1.5 maturity level, give them that breakdown. Hey, like basically orientate them to where you are in your cybersecurity program journey, right? Because as a CISO, you should, if you're just YOLOing it, that's not a good thing. You should be, kind of building towards something. If you're talking about general end users and workforce, listen, if you get to be part of orientation, like when they bring in all the new hires and it's like you get your 15 minutes or something like that, what I would focus on is two things, really. Number one, kind of like the technical level, like, hey, like show them, like show them the magic trick, right? Like, this is what a fish looks like. Hey, here's a landing page, looks real, right? Well, this will steal your password. So just, and make it personal. Don't make it about the business. Make it about like their bank account or their email, right? So it sticks with them. Number two, make them feel, I don't want to say friendly, but like, listen, the end users are the ones who are going to be seeing things first. They're the ones who are going to be falling for things. They're the ones who are going to be enabling signal for a threat actor to get up in their stuff, right? So establish a rapport with them in the sense that, hey, there's no dumb questions. There's nothing, you're never going to get in trouble, right? Hey, you're like, just, if you think something's weird or you're not sure, just call the office. We have a team of information or cyber people whose entire job it is to make sure that you can do your job safely. So like basically make an open line of communication. That's super valuable.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
All right, Daniel's with a $10 super chat. I'll get to that in just a second. QKB3128 says, what 14-week cybersecurity school is legit? You got to be careful. There's a lot of bad ones out there. I will say, TJ, Find the True, and Devin out of Miami, who I got to eat lunch with at Zero Trust World. They keep changing their name. There was one called Thrive DX, I think. What's his name? Michael Small, I think, is associated with that. That one I've heard good things about, okay? Ask TJ, a.k.a. Find the True, in chat. He might be able to let you know. Oh my God, yeah. By the way, as far as my albums go, Wall to Wall to Midnight, so true. All right, hold on, I'm flagging questions. What's up, Cyber Riskwitch? Good to see you in chat. All right, hold on. I'm flagging all the questions right now. I'm flagging questions so I can get down to that super chat without missing anyone. Also, hey, mods, this is kind of an extra ask. This is me being extra. I asked the community for any feedback to make me better and make jaw jacking better, but it's very difficult for me to scan for questions, answer questions, and be able to pull that feedback. So if you guys see anything, will you grab a screen cap and just drop it in chat, and I'll review it after the show ends. All right, continuing to look. Lots of questions coming in. This is phenomenal. Thank you guys for the questions. I'm super pumped to be able to helping you. I'm scrolling down to get to the super chat since, obviously Daniel made a donation to the channel. Oh my God, a lot of great questions in chat. Ellipsis says, I love you, Jerry. Don't tell my wife. It's funny. Okay, come on. Where's the super chat? There it is. Okay, here's the super chat. Says, the cert I've been considering is the GRC ISSMP from ISC2. Been getting mixed reviews. Your thoughts? So I had the CISSP in 2009. For those who don't know, ISC2 released basically a bolt-on plus-up senior level focused area for CISSP. There was three. There was ISSMP, which is the management one, ISSEP, which was the engineer one, and then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was it ISSAP, like an architecture one? There were three. I will tell you, I've never heard, seen, sniffed anything when I was hiring around this, the extension past the CISSP. So just my thoughts is it's probably fine, but I don't know if you're going to get value from it. I will say, hey, for any cert, whether it's the OCEG one that I said I've never heard of, or the ISSMP, if you can get your employer to pay for it, get all of them, okay? If you can get your employer to pay for it, definitely get it. But I don't know if this has any credibility or value. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Here we go. What comments do you have on CISO series you missed? Finished intel warns of hybrid espionage blitz from Russia. Hybrid espionage blitz from... No, I mean, I guess as far as Russia and China goes, guys, we're basically I'm reluctant to call it WW3, but like we are in a multinational state, first world power on first world power. Low-key, little bit of proxy wars going on. Iran is, I don't know why Iran's getting painted as like some, third world. Like they have infrastructure. They have a very solid cyber capability. They have nuclear weapon. Like they are a first world. So, it's espionage definitely, being done with human as well as cyberint or SIGINT. It's the playbook of first world powers when they're doing operations. So I'm not surprised that they're attacking or they're doing things that would attack EU countries, just like I'm sure the United States and NATO-based countries are doing similar things around BRICS countries. So that's it. I don't know much about the story, though, Roswell, UK, so it's difficult for me to give any insights deeper than that. How would you guide a military person who wants to enter GRC? Oh, my God, all day long. Every military program has to go through, they used to call it DIACAP. I don't know what they call it now. I guess FISMA compliance or CMMC compliance for the private sector side. If I was going to get into GRC, the military personnel, I would immediately get involved with the PM for whatever projects you're working on, the program manager, and start interacting with the cybersecurity professionals. They're typically contractors that are responsible for doing the RMF packages, or like basically the authorization package around the security of the program. Get involved with that, start absorbing that. You'll learn NIST 853 pretty quick, and then you can transition into private sector as a SME. Plus, when you're military, private sector loves to hire prior military because you basically have a Rolodex of people that are going to be paying for their services. Which car company has the best cybersecurity? Ooh, I don't know entirely. Jaguar Land Rover they were down for like months because of an issue. Nissan's gotten hit. I would say if I was going to just like put $5 to let it ride, you know what I mean? Like make a casual prop bet. I would say Tesla has the best cybersecurity. Which type of laptop you got? Does it have AI? Soulshine. Yeah, I have a Legion. Lenovo Legion. I had the 5i Lenovo Legion 3 years. It did its job. I just did a software recycle because I'm the CEO and the CFO and the CIO and the CTO and the janitor. I get to decide when software life cycles happen or system life cycles. And for the 2026 season, I've replaced it with a Lenovo Legion 7i, and it does have AI. There's a co-pilot button on it that I accidentally hit from time to time and absolutely want to choke slam it like I'm the Undertaker. Good morning, CompTIA Sec Plus still relevant? Oh yeah, definitely. America, definitely Security Plus still relevant in 2026. How will you guide Okay, this is a follow-up question, I suppose. Is doing cybersecurity ops a good route or IT? No, I mean, if you want to work in GRC, both of those are great operations. Cyber operations is great because if you understand how the real threats attack and how to use threat intelligence and how to harden environments and stuff, GRC people are going to be playing nicely because you're going to be working with both the operations people on one side and the business on the other side on like credibly hardening environments. So yeah, definitely both of those routes are fine. If you can get into cyber, do it. Is cybersecurity job market expanding? It's very difficult to tell right now, Runfish. I don't think the answer is yes right now. I haven't seen any signals to indicate the market's expanding. We're seeing rifts, reduction in force. We're seeing layoffs. The AI bubble is getting funded incredibly quickly, which means there's a lot of startups, which means they need some cyber. CMMC in the United States is blowing up. Obviously, we're going to war effectively. Oh, we got 2 cyber chicks today. Can you drop a link, please? Cyber Shingami, what's the next round of 3 analyst question review dropping pen test edition? Give me a second and I will tell you the answer to that one. Kimberly, can you drop a link to the 2 cyber chicks, please? We have 2 cyber chicks we're going to go over and raid. I'm looking right now at, you guys can look behind the screen. Come on, computer, load. Bruh. All right, you can see here, these are the upcoming shows that exist or don't exist. They're coming starting March 15th. So this Sunday is the start of those videos, March 15th. All right, thanks for the question. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. How women are rewriting the rules of cyber leadership. Talking about CISOs and leadership. Get some of that. This premieres in 2 minutes. Shout out to 2 cyber chicks, Erica McDuffie, Jack Scott, absolute bosses out there. It's just coincidence they're females. It's not because they're females, right? So definitely let's do this. Outpost Gray, 7 minutes to go time. You can see Jax is in the chat already. Very nice. I'm going to drop a link to this for the raid. 2 cyber chicks. Raid. There we go. I'm going to pin it in chat and see if I can speed run. See if I can speed run the questions. Jerry, you have a library on your website. Is there a collection of music recommendations, or is it the Midnight and the rest be damned? Yes, I do love the Midnight Space Tacos. I will say if you go to if you go to simplycyber.io/socials, I've made a mixtape that's right here. This has no Midnight on it. This is exclusively late 80s, early 90s hip hop, starting with a Award Tour. To me, very much a great way to start a mixtape. So here, check this out. simplycyber.io/socials. That's the answer to the question. All right. We got 60 seconds till we go live. Looking at chat. Rob, hey, did you get a new car, man? Have you caught anything in the Sierra in Vegas yet? So I didn't see a concert. I watched Postcards from Earth. Made me feel horrible about myself. It's basically a documentary pointing out that humans are a plague. But dude, if you're going to see Fish there in April, holy crap. I would love to see any concert at the Sphere in Vegas. I mean, the Midnight would be the dream scenario, but Qbot, so check out Thrive, THRIVE, I think Thrive DX. And I think Michael Small was involved. I could tell you for a fact at Find the True 2, he's in chat right now. He went through one that was pretty good and can recommend an option. What did I do my dissertation on? It basically small healthcare cybersecurity leadership. Like basically, why does cybersecurity suck at small healthcare businesses in the state of South Carolina? If you are interested, Trap creates 1346. If you are interested, I will link to it. This is my actual dissertation right here. It's in PDF format. It's like a couple hundred pages. Who said it? TRAC. I don't know. It's not showing up as a name. Here's my dissertation. I just dropped it in chat if you want to giddy up on that. But it was called Flashlight in a Dark Room, a grounded theory study on information security management and small healthcare providers. I basically created a new theory. When you do a dissertation, you create new knowledge. That's like the shtick. And I created a theory on why information security sucks at small healthcare organizations. All right, we got just 60 seconds until we go live. I'm going to keep answering questions, but go on over there. Space Taco says she appreciates how I give examples of things to help non-IT people make sense of it. Oh, thank you very much, Space Tacos. I feel like my analogies are pretty good, and it's just I didn't like take a class on doing analogies. It's just what's up. 311 Champagne, your computer's not a Pokemon. I work in healthcare, and we have seen an influx in attacks the last week. Is it possible my org's info is listed on the dark web somewhere? Hey, STV0887, I would absolutely tell you, go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare. Literally, you can get a 2-week free trial of Flare's threat intelligence. You will absolutely be able to see if your organization is information is compromised on the dark web. I'm telling you, this is the best way to do it, and it'll cost you $0. I promise you. Simplycyber.io/flare, STV. That's not even like because it's a sponsor. Like, it's legit the answer. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Let's go raid 2 cyber checks. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Until next time, stay secure. See ya.